Okay, hello everybody. All those students who are appearing for JEE Main often ask this question: what is the relationship between the marks that they obtain and the percentiles that they get? Two, what is the relationship between percentile and rank? So what we are going to do in this short video is to use 2020 JEE Main results, do an analysis of that, and based on that, try to find these relationships. But before we do all that, let us understand what is the meaning of percentile. Percentile indicates, or a percentile score indicates, the percentage of students who get marks equal to or less than your score. Now, let me explain that through an example. Let us say 100 students are taking an exam and you get 95 marks, which is the highest in the exam. That means all the 100 students have got marks less than or equal to what you have got, 95 being the highest. Therefore, your percentile score in such a scenario would be 100 percentile. Now, let us take another student who's got 60 marks. And let us say 90 students get marks less than or equal to 60, in which case the student who is getting 60 marks is getting a percentile score of 90. So what we've seen here is a percentage score of 95 is actually 100 percentile, because 100% of the students are getting marks less than or equal to 95. In the other case, a student who gets a raw score of 60 is getting 90 percentile because 90 students have got marks less than or equal to 60. So that is the relationship between a raw score and a percentile score. The next question is, why is this complicated measure percentile required? The reason is that if you see JEE Main, after it became completely online, the test is being conducted on multiple slots. If you look at 2020, in January, it was conducted on 3 days. On each day, we had 2 slots. First shift in the morning, second shift in the afternoon. So totally 6 shifts. Similarly, in September, we had 5 days and 2 shifts each day. So 10 shifts. So what happens is that despite the efforts made by National Testing Agency, which is the agency which conducts JEE Main, to ensure that the papers are almost equal in terms of standards, it is impossible for them to create papers which are equal in terms of difficulty level in all the shifts. So there may be a student who may get a very high marks in an easy paper on one particular shift, and there may be another student, maybe of the equal standard, but because he's got a tough paper in some other shift, his marks will be low. It will be unfair to compare the raw scores obtained in an easy paper and a tough paper. For that reason, we use the percentile scores, and the percentile scores will indicate the performance of the student with respect to the others overall. So that is the reason why you use percentile scores. So the ultimate ranks are based on the percentile scores obtained by the students. Then you may ask me the question, what happens if more than one student gets the same percentile score? It is quite possible and it will happen. All right, because everybody who gets a highest mark in a particular shift gets 100 percentile. So if there are six shifts, there will be a minimum of 100 percentilers. There will be more, but there will be a minimum of 100 percentile. So in that case, how do you decide the ranks? So for that, NTA has come up with a tie-breaking rule. So what they are going to do is, they are going to use the max percentile first, and based on that, break the tie. Whoever gets a higher max percentile will get a better rank. If that also fails, they use physics. If that also fails, they use chemistry. And if that also fails and there's still a tie after this also, they will look at the age, and anybody who's got more age, the person who is senior, gets the better rank. So that is how the percentile scores get converted into ranks. Now, with that introduction, let us quickly see how in 2020 the raw marks got converted to percentile. Now, in 2020 January attempt, as I told you, there were totally 6 shifts, 3 morning shifts and 3 afternoon shifts. So for the sake of convenience, instead of presenting all the shifts, entire data, I have simplified that data and presented this in terms of first shift and second shift. So this gives a range of marks obtained in the first shift. This gives a range of marks obtained in the second shift. So the 100 percentile actually corresponds to, in the first shift, students getting 95.3 to 97.3%. 95.3% means the student has got actually 285 marks. Similarly, 97.3 means 292. So 285 to 292 corresponded to the 100 percentile in the first shift in the January attempt. Similarly, in the second shift, the percentage was 96 to 97. So 96 corresponded to 288 marks, 97 corresponded to 291 marks. So if you consider both first shift as well as second shift, the range is corresponding to 100 percentile in January attempt is 95.3 to 97.3. That means you were assured of 100 percentile if you were in that range, that is 285 to 292. Similarly, 99 percentile. Now this gets interesting. 99 percentile in the first shift, students were between this 56.7 to 60. All right, 56.7 to 60. That is, in one particular shift, a student getting 56.7 percentile, 56.7% got 99 percentile. 56.7 actually translates to 170 marks. So if you get 170 marks, or any student who got 170 marks in that particular shift got 99 percentile. Similarly, a student who got 60 marks, 60%, that means 180 marks. 180 marks got 99 percentile. So similarly, second shift. So if you combine these two, the 99 percentile corresponded to something between these two, 56.7 being 170 marks, 63.3 corresponding to 190 marks. So in certain papers, 170 got you a 99 percentile. In another paper, 190 gave you 99 percentile. So to summarize, in the January attempt, 99 percentile was in this particular range, 170 to 190. All right. Similarly, 98 percentile corresponded to 45.3 to 51.3. Now 45.3 is 136 marks, 51.3 is 154 marks. Now this is interesting. So you get a 98 percentile with just 45.3%, that is 136 marks. If you get 136 marks also, if you got 136 marks in the January attempt in a particular shift, you are assured of 98 percentile. And the highest was around 51.3, that is 154 marks corresponded to 98 percentile. Similarly, 97 percentile corresponded to 39 to 45%. Now 39% corresponds to 117 and 45 corresponds to 135. So in one particular shift, a student with 117 marks got 97 percentile. In another shift, a student getting 45%, which is 135 marks, got 97 percentile. Now I've indicated 90 percentile also for the simple reason that last year, that is in 2020, the general cutoff for JEE Advanced, to qualify for JEE Advanced on the basis of JEE main score was 90.3765. So 90.3765. So approximately for 90 percentile corresponded to something like around 20 to 26%. Now 20% is 60 marks and 26% is 78 marks. That means anything between 60 to 78 marks, you would qualify for JEE Advanced. This is January 2020 data. Now let us look at the September data. Actually, the exam, the second attempt should have been in April, but because of Corona this year, it has got shifted to September. And in very unusual circumstances, the entire test was conducted. January was conducted in 6 shifts. This was conducted in 10 shifts because of social distancing norms, etc., etc. And because of that, the data is a little, I would say, skewed. And I'll explain to you why it is skewed. If you look at 100 percentile corresponded to something like between 94 to 98.7%. But if you look at the 99 percentile, look at the range, 52.3% to 72.7%. Similarly, 98 percentile corresponded to 40.3 to 69, a huge range. 97 percentile corresponded to 33 to 65.7. Now, there were 2 problems in the September shift. One problem was that some papers were very tough, some papers were easy. For example, I remember 6th September paper was very tough. So if you see the lower side, all of these things are because of the 6th September paper. And some papers were easy, and therefore a higher mark, you required to get higher marks to get a decent percentile. All right. The second thing that happened was that because there were 10 shifts, the number of students per shift got reduced. And even within that reduced numbers, there were a lot of absentees. And who were the students who were absent? The students who were absent were the students who are not well prepared, students who were casual, who did not take JEE Main seriously. And because they were casual about it, they did not want to take the risk of going and writing in a Corona situation. So perhaps because of that reason, the absentees were high. So because of this, when the number of students who are likely to get lower than you is less, then your percentile also obviously falls. Because of this reason, the September data was little skewed. So for this reason, I am not going to use the September data for further analysis. Whatever analysis I'm going to do will be based on the January data. So based on the January data, let us see how things stand. 99.0 percentile. Let me indicate, for the sake of precision, actually NTA gives percentile up to 7 decimal places, for greater precision. But I am using, for the sake of simplicity, 99.0 percentile. 99.0 percentile, as I already told you, based on the January data, corresponded to 170 to 190 marks. 98 percentile, again based on January 2020 data, corresponded to something between 136 to 154. 97 percentile corresponded to 117 to 135, and 90 percentile was between 60 and 78 marks. But let me make one clear statement. This is January 2020. This is only indicative. It doesn't mean that in 2021 the range and percentile relationship will remain the same. It will not. It depends upon the paper, and it depends upon the competition, intensity of competition. All of these factors will account for this range. But this is just to give you an indication. Okay. The next question is, once I know the percentile, how does that map onto a rank? So 99 percentile, that means a student getting 99.00000 gets 11,000 rank. This is approximate. This is an approximation. 11,000 11,000 rank. 98 percentile, that is 98.0000, corresponds to 22,000 rank. So in an open category situation, if you want to get a seat in NIT or IIIT, if you get 98.00, you are likely to get a seat. And for that, the marks range is 136 to 150. That means approximately you get close to 50% marks also, you are likely to get an admission in some NIT or IIIT. May not be the branch of your choice, but you're likely to get some NIT or some IIIT. But again, as I told you before, this is based on January 2020 data. It is purely indicative, but it will give you a general idea. And the other thing, let me add, is do not make conclusions and don't become complacent on the basis of the marks that you get in your weekly tests or whatever tests are being conducted in your institutes now. Because what happens is the weekly test or even the cumulative test will be based on limited syllabus. So your performance will be very good there. But in a grand test, what happens is when the entire syllabus is there will be a performance deterioration. Similarly, now most of the tests are being conducted at home. So from the comfort of your home, you're going to get some marks. If the same test is conducted in the college, there'll be a deterioration in performance. And if the same test is conducted in an examination setting, when you take the final test, there will again be a slight deterioration. So you have to keep that in mind. So just because we are indicating that you get around 50% marks and you're getting 50% marks in your weekly test, don't become complacent and assume that you're going to get a seat in NIT. You have to keep the factors that I mentioned in mind before you make conclusions. But all the same, this will give you some important data as to how you can prepare and how you can position yourself. Because there are certain students, by the time we come to October, November, December time frame, they become very, very nervous. They become anxious because at that time they feel the full burden of the entire syllabus and they get a feeling that they will not be able to do well, and some people actually give up. So for those students, I think this gives a lot of reassurance. So you get around 50%. We are talking about 98 percentile, and that 98 percentile will give you a seat in one of the NITs and IIITs. But as I told you, this may give you some seat, but not the seat of your desired choice, rank, or institute. So for that, we need to go a little further and do some fine tuning. All right. Suppose you want to get NIT Warangal or NIT Trichy or NIT Surathkal Computer Science, then you need to get less than 1,000. Now, less than 1,000 rank corresponds to 99.92 percentile. So if you want computer science in one of the top NITs, this is what you should be getting, 99.92. A decent branch in a decent NIT, less than 5,000 ranks, corresponds to 99.56. All right. And again, I have shortened this. Actually, the NTA percentile would be up to 7 decimals. I have just shortened it for the sake of simplicity to just 2 decimal points. Less than 10,000 you have to get. If you want to get less than 10,000 rank in JEE Main, you should get 99.1 percentile. And less than 15,000 corresponds to 98.66. Less than 20,000 corresponds to 98.2. All right. So this is the ranks versus percentile comparison. But the most important thing is what I mentioned is the marks range to get that particular rank. So keep this in mind while you are making your preparation, while you are doing your preparation for the JEE Mains exam. Okay. So this will tell you clearly in terms of what marks you should get to get a seat in NITs and IIITs. In my next video, I'm going to talk about the JEE Advanced ranks versus marks versus ranks in this particular year, how it has fared, that I will do in the next video. All right. On that note, let us end this video now. Okay.